As we know, the outbreak of coronavirus pandemic caused the world to shut down for several weeks. The shutdown worked fine, but did a lot to shatter economies across continents. People died not only out of the disease, but also out of hunger, like never in a few decades, which got people to have a deeper thought about the most rudimentary necessity for their bodies to function: food.
Food for thought. Different sets of people around different parts of the globe have faced gazillion sets of problems to get their tummies full. Pending paycheck, getting fired out of work, suffering businesses, and disruptions in the food supply chain have caused one of the worst humanitarian crises since decades in many nations. These problems have been seen not only in marginalized nations but also in developed and dominant nations. Here are some of the major ones that are leading people to starve.
Problem 1. Food supply chain. The food supply business is one of the most affected industries among all. Factories manufacturing food products, shops, supermarkets, restaurants, pubs and other food-related businesses also had to shut down. Transportation of food items has also been a major challenge. Many people don't have capability to buy products. But demand of some food products increased sharply and some declined. People are hoarding some food products, whereas some food products are getting wasted in dominant amount in farms, and somewhere millions are sleeping empty stomach. Only if surplus food can reach the hungry stomachs, a dominant amount of starving people can be fed.
Problem 2. Losing jobs and pending paychecks. Due to economic breakdown, several firms couldn't pay some their employees and laborers. As a result, the companies had to fire those employees or had to hold their paychecks. Over 30 million people lost their jobs in US alone. So due to this reason, families across nations lost the source of bread and butter. Some nations brought certain relief funds to help, but some of those nations were unable to consider daily wage laborers. Most of the people depend on groceries they buy to fill their tummies, but their pockets are empty as of now. So preventing these people from starving remained a challenge throughout oceans.
Problem 3. Migration of laborers. Many daily wage workers migrate around the world in search of better pay, but as they lost their work due to the shutdowns, they wanted to get back to their homes, but due to the unavailability of vehicles, they had to walk back home. Millions of workers went thousands of miles on foot, starving throughout the way, especially in developing nations like India and struggling nations. Many died in this course, and managing this struggle remains a significant challenge in this course.
Problem 4. Closure of industries and farms. To cope with the level of health emergency, farms and food industries had to shut down too. Unorganized farmers also sat vacant, so the food reserves around the world might not be able to sustain lives for long. Also, swarms of locusts have pumped in problems in by destroying crops in different parts of Asia and Africa. People who rely on the crops they grow are also in major crisis as of now. So food scarcity might be evident within weeks from now if a solution isn't dug.
Problem 5. Hoarding of food. Due to panic that food items might be scarce in coming times, people who were capable started to hoard food items that would be enough for their families to sustain for months. This ended up bringing problems in the supply chain. Certain people who were in need of essentials and didn't have stock of those food items, didn't get those items, and black market also got a rise in this condition. These condition also compelled many to sleep empty stomach.
Problem 6. Unavailability of essentials in farms. Due to shutdown, production and distribution of essentials like seeds, fertilizers, pesticides, food and medicine for animals required for farms were also affected. People couldn't buy those essentials due to lockdown or scarcity in shops. So the production is estimated to be hampered this year around. Slight change in production also can lead to scarcity, so we should have a deeper thought upon this.
Problem 7. Malnutrition. Many people of all age groups across the globe have suffered starvation due to all these reasons, but children are most likely to be hampered on a long run due to all this. Many children have not got nutritious food required for their physical and mental development during all these shutdowns. Pregnant women also have not got enough nutrition for their baby's growth, and in a long run, children might suffer different types of health complications due to this.
If we all get united to solve these problems as one unit, chances are that we can succeed to save lives and fill everyone's tummies. Let's have a look at some People can grow some crops, vegetables in their kitchen yards or terraces and balconies in this free time so that some more food can be added to the reserve, in case we run out. We can create food banks and community level to collect small amount of food and resources from everyone who can donate and can distribute those to the people who are in need and stranded. Supply chain mechanism should be revoked to make supply more effective such that every stomach is filled and every grain is eaten and not wasted in storage. Government can also get health and life insurance to people involved in food production field to encourage maximum production during these tough times.
Distribution and sales of essentials required for farming like pesticides, medicines, food grains, seeds should be made available by stabilizing mechanism and governments should provide subsidiaries to who cannot afford. In these tough times, an effective way of not letting food to get wasted is by using locally grown and available food items rather than being more dependent on import and supply from other regions. The food production in these tough times can also be maximized by studying the soil and growing different crops accordingly by using suitable fertilizers and pesticides. We should also have a deeper thought about the bare land that is suitable for plantation. Governments should plan to distribute these pieces of land among farmers to grow crops commercially, which can also maximize our food reserves.
We'd like to thank you for listening to our presentation. To dig in more about the incumbent problem and its probable solutions, we'd like to request you to have a look at our report.